did, so I'll have to step out while you discuss it. And then yell at me,
Okay.
We'll bring you back in.
and then we can go through the rest of the items.
Then Tracy can have fun.
We've got tag team board tonight.
How are you? Good. Are you still helping Aaron? Yeah. I see.
Okay, Angela, Bob stepped out so we can begin pre-work discussion.
Okay, I'm up behind you guys, so.
Okay.
I'm here, or up above somehow. All right, so we'll just open it up. Does anyone have comments on this?
I just had some questions. When you look at the elevations and sections and perspectives, I know this kind of evolved over time, but there's some discrepancies between the drawings, and I just wanted to clarify a few things. On the loft, in some views, there's transom windows, and then in some views, there's awning windows below the larger windows, and I just wanted to verify which was which. And on some of the drawings, there's on the doors, like the loft doors and the garage doors, there's a half crossbuck Z configuration, and other times that doesn't appear. So I was wondering if that articulation was like in or out of the project. Same thing with window and door trim. It's on some views it's shown, other views not. And also the cantilevered beam at the prow, it's in some views and not in others. So I just wanted to kind of verify what our configuration really is. So we'll all be on the same page and the city staff can keep track of what's actually approved.
Yeah, I've got.
Oh, this is just a
new
work
plan
session.
For everything here.
This is just a work session right now. The meeting hasn't started yet, so this is. I had a comment on the shutters. There's only shutters on the front and not on the back, but those windows are the same. Thanks. And then it looks like there was a column that's added for zoning to eliminate the possibility of parking. And it feels like that was just thrown in. Maybe there could be one on the opposite side to help balance it out, or we could put a faux beam in there so it mimics the same style as the columns being the beam, similar to the outside row of columns, just to make it look a little bit more intentional. Those were my comments. I had a couple of the same repeat ones you had.
No, I think it generally looks good. I agree with you on that column hanging out
Yeah.
there it just looks funky because it doesn't support anything. I mean, you could accomplish the same thing with like a small half wall.
Yep.
That wouldn't be so weird looking.
Yeah.
Right, there's a few things you could do there to make it look a little more intentional. Okay. All right, so those are mostly, it's a lot of clarification comments, really.
Mhm.
I mean, otherwise, in general, I thought it was really, really good looking.
Yeah.
Hey, Kyle, is your microphone on?
It is now.
Okay, great. There we go. That's better. Thank you. Okay. I guess we're finished with Bob's project then for comments. It's
Tracy?
unless,
Yeah, Tracy's gonna step out and
She
have
can-
Bob come in.
That worked well.
Your own.
Landed that.
All right, go get Bob.
Yeah.
I did. Thank you.
Big.
All right. Next, we have 28 Marshall Place. Any comments from board members?
One of my comments is addressed by the handout that we just received. It was, since the privacy shutters will be so prominent on the front of the house, I wanted to know what those would look like. And a photo's been provided, and I think that will look just fine. Also too, I mean, it's a very nice looking addition, but in order to sort of differentiate the addition from the historic structure, I think if it could be, the front wall of the addition could be just set back about a foot to make it just a little subordinate to the historic home and not have the front walls coplanar. And then also too, on the dry stack stone at the direct vent fireplace, just having that truncated stone mass on a historic home just feels a bit incompatible. And, you know, it just needs to be addressed somehow, perhaps even just build a more traditionally configured chimney, even though it's really technically, you know, it's not needed for venting, or perhaps change the exterior finish of that that area to something that's more frame looking, like even just like some sort of smooth panel with simple trim, because it really doesn't look like there's any stacked stone anywhere else on the existing house, just to kind of blend it in. But those were my comments.
Okay. Kyle,
I actually, I didn't have too many comments on this one, although I do agree with your suggestion to push it back just a bit to get it off the corner. Just let that corner stand proud. I did think the fireplace piece looked a little strange because it didn't cap out, but you know, I struggled with, you can't push it in and take away living space. And you don't really want to go up with it because you got to go up a lot to clear that deck. So I don't know that I had a suggestion for that fireplace. The fireplace itself being truncated, I agree, it looks a little strange, but it didn't bother me too much.
Yeah, well, I guess if it's a direct vent, we really, that chimney wouldn't be active, so we wouldn't have to make that huge extension. You
Right.
know, it could just be decorative, really, since it's not functional. So it wouldn't have to be disproportionately large.
True. You're right. You don't have to meet the code.
Yeah.
For an exhaust.
So I thought the same thing of the push it back. But actually, I was kind of with Kyle on that one. I was wondering exactly what you do with that. But I like with that stone piece. I like the idea of making it a wood on the exterior. I think that actually might keep it from standing out so much.
Yes.
Yeah, I think those are good comments. I didn't really have any comment originally when I reviewed it, but I guess there'll be discussion about if, you know, since it doesn't need to be stone. To me, if there were stone on the house or in the landscape, maybe that related to that piece, it would be a little stronger. If there's not, you know, if it's a direct vent, it might as well just be siding and look like it's more part of the wood assembly. So. All right. We can, I think we're done with 28 Marshall Place. So unless Tracy's on the next one, we can have her come back. All right, next we got 14 Marshall Place. Any comments from board members?
My only comment on this was addressed by a follow-up submittal. The historic guidelines require the shed to be placed where it can't be seen. So a site plan was requested and it was provided, and I think it looks fine.
No comment from me.
No comment.
All right.
Hey. Kelly, do you have hard copies of the new agenda? The one you sent out today?
Oh.
It's sitting on the printer in my office.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank
Pull
you.
it up.
All right. Next on the list to talk about is 403 Oak.
We reviewed this a bit at the last meeting and had some questions. And there was no project representative available. So these are just the same comments that we reviewed before for the benefit of a project representative who hopefully is here or online. The 4/1 style of the existing windows really give the house a lot of character. And I was wondering if they considered replacing those windows in a like kind style, or perhaps just repairing the existing windows. Then also too, there's some problems, concerns with the casement windows that are proposed for the front and back of the house. They swing out, and that number one window, when it is in the open position, it'll block off a large part of the front porch floor space. And then the window two on the front, when it's opened, that glass sash will actually be blocking a walkway, which is, potentially dangerous for a passerby or somebody coming down those stairs. And a similar condition at the back porch with window 8, it will encroach on the deck when it's open. That is a bedroom. It will require an egress window, but there is a window around the side that could act as the egress window, and a double hung could be on the rear so it doesn't interfere with the deck. And I just wanted to make sure that the homeowners were aware of those conditions, and there may potentially be a code issue involved with the window that's blocking the sidewalk. And then if they intend to not have the traditional pattern of mullions and muttons, perhaps they could just add a horizontal crossbar to the casement windows so they'll resemble the look of the double hung, and you won't have a mixture of window patterns on the outside.
Yeah, I did see a comment that someone is here for that online, so.
Good.
We'll get, yeah, okay, so we'll get to that in the normal meeting. During the regular meeting. Next, we have 214 Central. Comments from the board members.
I just had a comment that the renderings don't match the drawings.
Yeah, my only thing was I would approve the floor plans and elevations. It's pretty
Yeah.
simple garage, and just that the rendering doesn't match, but I get
Right.
the intent of what they're trying to do. It's pretty simple. Otherwise, I had no comments.
Yeah, and I wanted to just verify that there will be trim around the windows and the doors and in the rakes of the gables.
Yeah, I'd be curious if the garage door matches what is in the renderings or not, or. That's it.
And then unless they're using like Hardy Artisan, those corners are gonna have, trim. They show the trim pieces in the corners again on the elevations, but not on the
Yeah.
rendering. So.
Okay. Next one is 242 West Jackson.
This one. I think this is the one. Yeah, I don't think the structure is quite showing reality. I mean, we would see beams that go from the post back to the building. I think that would push the roof up. And I think there's probably going to be some additional members in there that would be exposed. I mean, as a concept, I think it's fine, but I don't think that the rendering's really showing what the actual structural system will end up being.
Yeah.
So we'll end up seeing a lot more wood, or if they're wrapping that. It
Yeah.
doesn't look quite flushed out yet.
That was all my only comment. There's probably a beam at the
Yeah.
eaves.
Yeah, I guess I would prefer, the renderings are fine, and like she said, I would guess that the concept's fine and all that. I'd actually like to see regular two-dimensional elevations so that you can, that's so that we know that things are figured out.
Yeah, that was my comment as well. All right. Next one we have is 102 West Rose.
It seems like in this middle, there were a lot of different options out there. It could be this or could be that, and I don't know if those selections have been made that would help guide us to review this,
Mhm.
or if there still needs to be some work done to get everything kind of figured out.
Right.
So I had the same comment. This is the
Yeah.
last one. Like, there's no 2D elevations, right? So like just the right, 3Ds are great, but, and then I had questions about the overhang on that front entry. And then is that, they're swapping that door in the window, but is that still brick? So are they infilling brick, or is it siding? So there's a lot left to be determined, right, in these drawings,
Yeah, that's true.
and decisions to be made.
And yeah, I had similar comments, and then, things like, obviously, there's going to be something supporting that extended porch roof, and is it going to be columns or brackets, and what are those going to look like? The porch floor deck will obviously need to be extended, and what material is that? What will it look like? And then just verifying infill materials where we're swapping out doors and windows, what will those really be? And then there's like that front breezeway and the garage appear to be drawn quite a bit out of scale when you look at the drawings. And then you look at the photograph, and I really don't think that small window in that breezeway area is going to fill that wall quite as completely as it shows on the depiction. And there were some other areas on the drawings that appear to be quite a bit out of scale, and some of them, the window sizes weren't indicated. So it's really hard to judge what the final product is intended to be and what it will look like. So I would really like to see drawn elevations to scale, thoroughly labeled, in order that we can properly review.
Agreed. I mean, if I had one, I do want to say a positive thing. Yes, remove those fake shutters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm I said the same thing. Okay. The next one is I think it's number 2, Karen Court.
So I found some discrepancies on the south elevation between the elevations and plans. There's a window shown in elevation, kind of vice versa. A window shown in elevation that doesn't show up in plan, and then the opposite happening in the elevation.
I made a comment about clarifying if there's window trim,
Yeah.
because it's kind of sketchy. It's a sketch. It's a model with the sketch mode turned on, so it makes it hard to tell.
Yeah.
That was my one comment.
Yeah, for me, there's the form of the front elevation is fine, but we have so many materials that it's coming across a bit busy. We've got stone, brick, horizontal siding, vertical siding. Then we've got the shingles that are on the second floor roof, and then we have standing seam metal on the front porch. And to me, in my mind's eye, when I visualize that built, it's just too busy. I think, like I said, the overall form is fine, but perhaps if the roof on the porch were changed to match the main body of the house, that might help. And that just the little gable area that's over the front door, if that was changed to just a solid panel trimmed out the way it's shown, rather than the addition of the horizontal siding, because we also have those existing Cohens at the masonry, the existing masonry wall. So that's just a whole lot of busy action. But I think just swapping out, simplifying a couple of materials could fairly easily rectify that.
So this is one I didn't have too many comments on. I didn't really notice the discrepancies. I don't necessarily mind the difference between the front porch being standing seam roof and the other being shingle. It's a design theme that's happening more and more. It's becoming a little more common. I mean, I personally kind of like it. I think if I had one thing to complain about, I was kind of like, what's up with that shed roof in the back when everything else is, got all these sort of gables. But it was in the back, so it didn't bother me too much. And as far as yeah, I get there's a mixture of materials to your point, but they're reusing an existing house to pop up. So, they're kind of stuck on the bottom there. I mean, I thought overall it looked relatively good. I didn't have too many other comments to share on that.
Yeah, I agree that I think they're doing a nice job
Yeah.
with a lot of it. And I applaud, thank you for actually reusing an existing house that's really nice instead of too much of what we see tearing down nice existing houses. So yay, thank you. And normally it wouldn't be a distraction to have that metal roof. I mean, it looks fine. It's just, I just suggested that as a way to kind of mitigate the busyness of the multiple
True.
materials.
That's a great point.
So
You take take one material out.
Yeah, just something to just calm it down a little bit, but I am just delighted to see somebody actually utilizing a really nice existing house.
Yeah, I agreed with definitely with using the existing home and just working with what they have and making something new with that. That's great. One other thing, the back doors don't appear to have a cover over them, if I'm reading that properly. It would be kind of nice to have a cover there on the east elevation.
It's not a bad idea because I was kind of struggling with that blank facade with that gable.
Yeah.
But then I looked at the plan and it's without redesigning the entire bathroom, there's not a lot of room for windows there. So, maybe that overhang there might help to break up what's going on with that very tall vertical piece. But at the same time, it's it's in the back. So how much am I struggling with it?
Yeah, I
Right.
like Angela's comment about adding the roof there because it would help mitigate the vertical blank piece as well and have a nice functional element for comfort for the homeowners.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking, because I was thinking they could add a small window in the bathroom there, but yeah, I'm not sure that's going to add that much, but having something over the doors kind of would break it up. So that's yeah, and something over the door is always nice. So
You could do a pair of transoms there. You'd have one transom over the sink and you'd have one transom over the water closet. And it would bring some natural light in there that could look good, but I'm not going to require that because it adds a lot of cost adding those windows, but that could be I think that'll be an improvement overall in the entire design as well.
Maybe if the homeowners are on board, that could be an option. And if they like that and want the natural light, they can build it or not. Maybe we could talk about something like that.
You have the natural light in there already on the sides. It's
Yeah.
just that elevation is.
All right. Next, we have 32 West Jackson.
So I was unsure if all the windows are gonna match when this is all finished. Is that, or they're not? I mean, they show two different styles of windows. I guess I find that a little bit awkward. It says something about adding to the existing or something.
Hmm.
But I guess I just wondered why not just make the new ones match the ones that they're gonna keep, maybe? Might be easier. I don't know.
I just had some suggestions. I don't know if this really needs to be anything. Maybe we could just discuss it, but the overhang over the back door looks like it's really long. I feel like it could be shorter. Maybe just terminate right on the other side of the back door. And then I was gonna suggest maybe taking the shutters off because they're just decorative. They don't really cover the total of the window.
Yeah, my only comment on this one was the shutters.
Yeah.
Okay. Comments there, and then the last one with comments is 1227 Eastbrook. I had a comment that the window styles, it wasn't clear if they were gonna match. I was looking for existing photos of the side and rear and a plan myself. I don't know if anyone has any comments to add on top of that.
I was just going through the window order, the written part, and it looks like there's a couple of windows on the front that are called out as having grids, casement colonial white, and then the others have no grids. And I mean, I was wondering if it's intentional to have that, the mix of grid styles and what are the grid styles on the rest of the house? So similar comment.
So when I was looking at it, I was like, is this, I think they've photoshopped this, right? Did everyone else interpret this the same? Like that window, I feel, and that's why I can't tell. That was my comment. in the
Yeah.
email. Like I can't tell if this is the photo of the existing house and it's a 1-for-1, or if this is like been because it kind of looks, it looks like someone may have photoshopped in a window here. That's what I couldn't tell. Because I mean, if it looks like this when it's done, I had no comments.
That's why I was wondering, I had the same question. I was like, well, is this the proposed or the existing? And then when I read the order, I'm like, well, I don't see any colonial grills on that depiction, but they're called out in the order. So,
Yeah. And again, like all these like window submittals are just not like,
They're hard to.
yeah, they give you, I mean, I got like 20 pages of window specs here. It's like, you figure out what we're doing.
Right. No, I think that's why it's always good to clarify, because it's when it's not clear. Okay. All right, so we've made it through our work session with a minute to spare. All right. We finished with the work session. Thank you, everyone, for attending tonight. We just finished our work session, so our official meeting for the Architectural Review Board will now begin. I'd like to introduce Kelly Campbell and Andrew Klosterman with the City of Webster Groves, Carol Dunkey and Tracy Collins, Kyle Wilson and Angela Thompson, myself, Bob Buckman. All 5 of us are volunteer architects on the board. First item of business is review of meeting minutes from May 19th, and I believe there's 4 of us here. So with that, could I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the May 19th meeting minutes as submitted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? All right, May 19th meeting minutes are approved as written. Next, we have some pre-approvals. So as I read off the project, I'll ask the board members to refer to the meeting agenda that was circulated when you make your motion, if there's any comments. First one is 856 Greeley. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve 856 Greeley as submitted.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
aye,
Aye. Opposed? 856 Greeley is approved. Next, we have 1015 Demler. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve 1015 Demler as submitted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? 1015 Demler is approved. Next, we have 633 Mildred. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve 633 Mildred as submitted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 aye,
Aye. Opposed? Mildred is approved. Last on the pre-submittal or pre-approval is 530 East Lockwood. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve of 530 East Lockwood as submitted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? All right.
My commercial. It's pre-approved.
530 Lockwood is approved. Okay, at this point, when we call the project out, if you're here in person, we'll ask you to come up to the microphone, introduce yourself. There will be discussion between you and our panel or our board. If you're online, to raise your Zoom hand and Kelly will add you and we can discuss the project that way. We always start with public hearings, and for the first one, 219 North Bompard, I have to remove myself from the room. So Angela is going to chair this motion or in discussion. Good. All right.
Great.
You here for this project? You can come up. Yeah.
Okay, I can't see if anyone is there.
Yes, there is someone here.
There is
Okay.
someone here.
Great. If you could introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi, my name's Fred Schwartz and I live and the owner of 219 North Bompard.
Okay, Fred, thank you.
Just a note, Angela, I'm sorry to interrupt, but we were just handed a revised elevation and you do not have the benefit of seeing that since you are not here. So that's a little bit of a difficult wrinkle we have this evening. Yeah, do y'all have that on an electronic file that you could email it or something? I'm just, you know.
Angela, can you see this?
Yeah.
It's a little small, but
Do you have an Adobe scan app?
You know what? I could run down.
Take a pic and
Scan it to her if you guys want to discuss. a little
yeah, you want to take,
down.
hey Kyle, can you take a picture of it with your phone and
Yeah, I'm gonna do that right now.
Oh, that'll work. Kyle will just email it. Okay.
yeah.
that would be great.
You can give Bob grief about that.
Yeah. I guess to start off some of the discussion though, I noticed you have shutters on the front windows, but not on the back. And it's the same type of window. I was curious if maybe we could add shutters to the back so it matches.
So yeah, that's a good comment and a little bit of oversight, but definitely we'll put shutters on the back of it.
Okay.
I think that'll aesthetically balance out quite nicely.
Yeah.
And it looks like the shutter style has changed on the elevation looking west. It looks like it's a louvered shutter style now rather than the half crossbuck or the Z that's on the perspective. So are you going with the louver style that looks like the house?
We're honestly quite in the air right now on that. Either way is fine by me, but when we change because we're attempting to make the barn period correct as to what was originally there on the property. So that's why we removed the traditional garage doors and put the swing barn doors on
Right.
there. So, the louvered shutters or just, remove the crossbar. It's kind of, I don't know, once I see it, then it's either going to get on there and then also possibly on the barn doors themselves.
Okay.
But
If you're seeking to emulate an historic style a little more, I would go with the half crossbuck.
mhm,
It's just structurally, that's how
Structurally,
they
that's how they would-
stabilize the doors to
exactly.
keep them from racking.
correct.
So if you're interested in that traditional look,
Mm.
which I think would be nice in the barn vernacular, that
That's
that
exactly what they
the
would
half
have.
crossbuck would look really good.
Mhm.
And then also too, it looks like the perspective has the extended beam at the prow of the barn, but I am not seeing that on this elevation looking west.
That
So,
the cantilever beam will be
yeah,
there.
okay, so the beam will be there. Okay. Let's see if there was anything else.
What about the column? There was some discussion early on about the column that doesn't
The
like
added
support
column.
anything. Yeah, and I understand like you're not allowed to have a carport there. So
So, and that's one of the things that got thrown at us to eliminate the possibility of making it a carport. So, planning and the zoning recommended putting a column there.
Mhm.
And I mean, I get it. It's not aesthetically what I want, but we have to come up with a game plan.
does the driveway extend past those garage doors?
No, it doesn't, but it's a permeable driveway because the whole backyard, this is a huge project that there's a lot happening. So it's going to be all grass. So that's what Mara's defense was like, well, you could drive up and it could be a carport there.
Mhm.
The other thing, potentially, instead of that added column for nothing, possibly do a raised rubble stone foundation, like a ledge, to prevent a vehicle from driving up.
Yeah. like a
I would
seat
be more
wall of some
inclined on
sort.
that because I'm going to be putting in the rubble when I'm pouring the foundation. So it's going to look like the original rubble foundation anyway. So
Yeah.
I mean, that'd be great. I'm looking at the site plan. I have a hard time seeing someone pulling a car in there with that column anyway. I
Sure.
don't really think that in danger of being used as a carport. Maybe a golf cart carport these days. So I mean, the stone wall would be amazing. Fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I
a
think
nice seat wall. right there.
that would be, yeah, nice for your function too. If, you built it a size you could use for a seat.
Yeah, you can sit on it.
exactly.
It
Hang
only
out,
needs to be
yeah.
18 inches.
Yeah, or like a flower box or something, just
Yeah.
to,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
raise it up a little
I
bit.
think that's a
So,
lot more successful and useful for you than
Yeah.
that column.
Oh, wasted timber. Yeah, for nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just another question here, the side swimming doors that are on the side, right there in the vicinity of that column, they're going to be the style shown on the perspective, correct? Because there's no style shown on the drafted elevation.
Yeah, I do believe we're going to use that style,
Okay.
something very similar to that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's basically achieving what would be period correct for that time.
Yeah, I think, as I've seen on previous renditions, that was
Let me,
there was a horizontal panel style, but if you like it, it would be nice you could maintain the glass configuration and then put the half crossbucks on those too. That would be sort of more consistent with the period style.
agreed. Yes,
Yeah, I think,
that's a good suggestion.
yeah, I just been in a lot of horse barns and I think that would look nice. It's typically what you see in the old barns in Missouri and also in Kansas.
When we were looking around, there's one aerial photo from 1927 that we saw, but we couldn't quite make out the barn. the location is spot on. And then there was a porte cochere on the south side and a circular drive to the back to the barn. So
Yeah, that's so you could drop off your passengers and put your horses up, right?
yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Yeah, very cool. I mean, this is a really neat project. I'm glad you guys are using the barn
Well,
configuration.
there's more to come.
Yeah, yeah.
I drive by your house like 2 or 3 times a day, so I'm excited to watch this.
Well, thank you.
Angela, I feel like you're on an island.
Yeah, it feels that way a little bit. I don't have any additional comments. I really like that idea of the wall. And thank you, Kyle. I did get the image so I can see what they're doing and it looks good. So let's see. Okay. So it sounds like we have just a few, it's still more just some clarifications. As far as the shutters go, what is what are we thinking there? Fred, were you going to change them? Or, on the one you gave us today, they're different than the other ones, as Carol had mentioned. So are you going to change them to the way they were or keep them like this?
So they're going to basically stay how they were with the crossbar coming down for the reinforcement on there.
And
Okay.
Just,
Yeah, as shown in the rendering.
yeah.
And then I think, was there gonna be a crossbuck on the doors then too, which is,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then potentially on the side swinging personnel doors that are on the elevation looking north,
Mhm.
crossbuck there, in addition to the lights that are shown. And then we're going to do the stone wall, rubble stone
Mhm.
wall, seating wall, and eliminate the planning and zoning column.
Yes.
And then also you mentioned that you were going to do a rubble stone foundation
Well,
finish.
yeah, that's when we pour that. So I'm locating the old rubble right now. So that's going to be set in the foundation as it's poured.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. That's a technical term. Cool.
It's
okay.
if I'm going to do it, it's going to be right. So
Fantastic.
yes.
Okay.
Great.
Mhm.
Okay. So I think that's, I don't think of any of those changes myself as that big a deal. I think we're good to go ahead with the motion.
don't forget the cantilever, that beam and the overhang.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be there.
Oh,
The
okay,
cantilever.
yeah, the cantilevered beam. Okay. All right, so that's it.
I believe so.
All right, and the rest of the board feel fine with moving ahead with? Okay, great. All right, then, do we have a motion for 219 Bompard?
I'll make a motion for 219 Bompard. Okay. Oh, public
Okay,
comment.
so-
That's right.
That's right.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, that's a little,
Okay.
yes, are there any public comments? And you'll have to let me know if anyone is there, or if is anyone online, raise your hand.
No one has raised their hand.
Oh, there's a dog that wants to.
Public
Sparky.
comment.
Sorry about that. Okay. Now we are ready for a motion. Yeah.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve 219 Bompard with the following clarifications. The cantilevered beam at the prow will be included in the project. The shutter style on the loft will include the half crossbuck style. There will be matching shutters at the loft window on the rear elevation. The side swinging garage doors and the side swinging personnel doors will also have the crossbuck configuration. The column that was added to prevent vehicle from entering the covered area will be removed and a rubble stone seating wall will be added in that location to prevent vehicle entry. And the foundation finish will be rubble stone.
Second.
All in favor? Sorry.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, then 219 Bompard is approved. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And, oh, I guess Tracy, yours was pre-approved, right?
No.
Not both of them, because one of them was a public hearing anyway, so she's.
Oh, okay, right, okay. We had another one, all right. So we'll get Bob back.
All right, next public hearing is 28 Marshall Place. Have we called anyone or asked anyone to come up?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay, good.
You're back.
Thank you. If you're online, just raise your hand and we'll add you.
I have Julie Wood.
Hello?
Can you hear us, Julie?
Yes, I can.
Hi, Julie. Are you the homeowner?
I am, yes.
Okay, welcome.
Thanks.
We had a few comments at the beginning. I'm not sure if you heard them.
I did. I heard
okay.
them.
So any thoughts about pushing that construction back just a bit or?
I think that's fine, as long as the door still fits on the inside, because there's a door that our steps are right there. So I think it'll still fit. And so, yeah, I'm fine with that.
Do we need to talk about a dimension of like what that looks like back? I mean, are we talking about 1 foot, 2 foot, or are we just gonna say, move it back off minimum something?
My inclination when I looked at it was 1 foot minimum, just to set it back a little bit, but
Give-
not pinch their space.
Mhm.
you know.
I think 1 foot would work great for us.
Okay. And then any thoughts about the material for the fireplace?
Yeah, I actually wasn't assuming it was a dry stack stone there. So I was just assuming more of a stone that might match like the stone on our foundation, but we could, I'm totally open to other finishes for that or putting the wood on the outside. I wasn't really thinking dry stack, so.
Yeah, I mean, when I looked at it, I thought, if the house was a stone foundation and you wanted to match that and somehow that stone was part of the foundation of the porch, then your stone on your fireplace might work.
Yeah, I think I'm fine doing brick or making it so that it's covered from the outside. I can talk to our contractor about that. But I agree with you. I don't think it should be dry stack.
I personally, if you like the dry stack look, you could have that on the interior.
Right.
Or, it would be cool too to match your rubbles, your stone foundation on the interior and just switch to a frame looking
Right.
material on the outside. I think that would be the best for me. I think that matching the foundation stone would be an improvement, but it's still a little bit of an incoherent, truncated looking stone mass to me in context of a historic property.
What if we said that we'd either cover it on the outside like that or bring it up higher if we do end up going with the stone so that it isn't truncated? Because I also agree that the truncated looked a little odd.
Yeah, I mean, that would be fine with me. If you like to use the stone, I think it would look fantastic to just go ahead and build it up in a traditional style chimney with the stone that matches your foundation. That would look fantastic too.
Great.
perhaps if all the other board members are amenable, we can put the option in there to trade the exterior to a frame material or go with stone matching the foundation and building a traditional style extended chimney. If everybody else is okay with that when we do the motion.
Just so clear, the siding option does not need to extend beyond the
Oh.
deck, correct?
Yes, yeah.
So the chimney form.
Kyle,
would
could
also-
you move up to your microphone, please?
Sorry, just to be clear that you're not talking about extending the chimney form if they do the horizontal siding option.
If they do a frame looking option, then the short truncated chimney would be best.
Yeah.
If they decide to do a stone, then extend it. And thank you for the clarification. That's a good point.
I'm on board with that.
Yeah, I am too. I'm fine with that.
Thank you. That
Okay.
would work for us.
Great. I don't think there were any other comments from board members. The public hearing, is there anyone else online or present that wants to make a comment on 28 Marshall Place? Raise your hand or seeing none, I'll ask for a motion on 28 Marshall Place.
I'll make a motion to approve 28 Marshall Place with the conditions that the front elevation be moved 1 foot minimum back from the front elevation of the existing building, and that the mass of the fireplace have the option for framed construction style to match the existing home, or a stone chimney extending beyond the second floor porch to match the stone foundation
Maybe in a traditional style chimney
in
configuration.
a traditional style
Yeah.
chimney. Did I get that right?
Sounds good.
All
to me.
right.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Aye, opposed? All right, Julie, you're approved.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good evening.
Thanks, you too.
All right, next we have 14 Marshall Place. Is there anyone here for that or on Zoom? Please raise your hand.
We need to get Tracy.
Oh, yeah, we need to get Tracy. Sorry. Forgot about
Look at those
Tracy.
kegs.
What's that?
All those kegs behind them.
Oh. All right, who's online?
Yeah, good afternoon. You've got Brian Huck, homeowner at 14 Marshall Place. Good evening.
Good evening, Brian. Welcome. I don't know if you heard our pre-meeting, but I don't think we had any comments after we received the site plan. So thank you for sending that. Any other comments from board members? But since it's a public hearing, we have to have an official conversation and then ask anyone else who wants to make comments. Is there anyone present besides Brian who would like to make a comment on 14 Marshall Place? All right, with that, I ask for motion.
Make a motion to approve 14 Marshall Place as submitted.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye, opposed? All right, Brian, you're approved. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening.
You too, thanks. All right, next we have 403 Oak. Is there anyone online for that one? 403 Oak, please raise your hand.
Hi, my name's Autumn. I'm a representative from Window World.
Welcome, Autumn.
And the homeowner, Mr. Thornton.
All right. All right, I think we have some comments and questions just to clarify a few things. Okay, I can start. Carol, do you want to start?
Oh, that's fine. Unless you want to go ahead, Bob, did you want to start?
No,
Okay.
please.
Autumn and Mr. Thornton, were you here for our pre-meeting? Did you hear any of the discussion?
Yes, I was here.
Okay.
Yes.
Did you all consider maintaining that 4/1 style? With the verticals that are separating the top window sash? It's a really nice house and that really adds a lot of character to your house. Did you consider either repairing the windows or having the new windows match that style?
That option was offered to match the existing window grids. Mr. Thornton's wanting to opt to change that to no grids due to the cost of having to.
Okay, Mr. Thornton, you still in favor of the no grid option?
I would prefer the no grid option, but I guess I'm open to it. It just adds extra cost.
Yeah, I guess I drove by your house and I was like, oh, I know why it looked familiar because every time we're all waiting at the railroad crossing, we see your neat house. It's just right there. Yeah, I think the 4/1 style is fine, but if you prefer the plain, that's fine as well. One suggestion that I think would help make it look nice is on your casement windows, just add one horizontal bar across the center. That way the house, they'll all look like double hungs, even though you'll have the casements for your function where it's needed. They'll all look more consistent. I think that would be really nice. And then also too, I was concerned, and there may eventually be some code issues with your outswinging casements blocking your porch and blocking that walkway, especially that's right at the bottom of your steps. I'm afraid that might be potentially dangerous for a passerby to just kind of be walking down the steps or come around the corner of that sidewalk and have a piece of glass right at their face level. So was there a particular reason you wanted to have a casement in those locations?
No, I think this is a good point. I think we want a casement inside the porch. And so that would obstruct the porch. That is true. And then the casement on the deck, I think, I can't remember what we spec'd, but I think we would like to move that to the side so it's completely out of the way.
Okay, when you say to the side, you mean to the side of the house?
That's right.
or-
That's right.
Okay, I believe if I looked at the submittal and on that little sketch plan that's drawn, let's see, let me just go back. In the bedroom, there is a casement that is on the side of the house in position 9, and it's an outswinging casement. So if you wanted on position 8, which is in the rear of your house at the deck, you could change that one to a double hung and still have window 9 be your egress window that's required for the bedroom. And that way your deck wouldn't be obstructed by the open casement.
That's a good idea. That's a good
Okay.
idea.
How do you feel about, you said, are you okay with that window number 1 obstructing your porch, or would you rather go to a double hung in that location?
Well, the problem is it's the front room is also doubles as a bedroom, so it needs to be an
Oh.
egress as well.
Okay, very
We could
good.
do in swinging casements.
Oh,
Do they do those?
Yeah, do it on egress windows
Yeah.
for basement.
oh, that creates different problems, but I didn't know
Oh,
that
it
was a
does? Okay.
possibility.
Okay,
Um,
well, thank you for the information that doubles as a bedroom, because that does make a change in the suggestion. And the in swinging would probably mess up your furniture arrangement a bit. So maybe that number 1 can remain a casement, and then the other one on the front, that window number 2, the concern about that. I mean, this would all be, of course, need to be verified with the code officials when you submit for plan review. But just to kind of get a proposal together that you're comfortable with and can be submitted for review.
Okay.
And then are you okay with adding the horizontal crossbar to the casement so they'll look like the double hungs?
I know the 4-in-1 option was quite expensive. I don't know the cost of the horizontal bar, but my guess is for 2 windows, it's not a lot, and I would be okay with that.
Yeah, I think that would do a lot to make your house look more consistent.
I agree with you. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
So I do have a question. Carol did bring up, Mr. Thornton, did you consider refurbishing the windows that you have? Was that just not something you wanted to do, or?
I considered it, but it's hard. It's hard and expensive too. And then they're always sticky. I just wanted nice windows that worked. But that's not a bad option, I guess.
Are the existing windows a single pane window and you're moving to a, double pane?
They are a single pane. The weight cords have not all broken, but a lot of them have broken. But they are single pane.
I mean, I can appreciate installing newer, more energy efficient windows over replacing a single pane window.
Sure. Well, just in the event that it is from a sustainability standpoint, it's better to keep the existing windows always, even if they are single pane. A single pane and a storm window will be as energy efficient and not create as much waste and not need to be replaced in 15 years. So it's something to think about. You're not required at all to keep your windows. That's not the case. It is just something to think about. And I know it is a little bit difficult to do the work yourself. It can be tricky, but and there are people who can do it. But you will be replacing the windows that you're putting in. So, keep that in mind. And if you do decide to go with the horizontal bar, something I've seen in town when we've said that this is necessary is the bar is not in the middle of the window. So it's a requirement that the horizontal, if you have a casement to look like a double hung window, it needs to be like the other double hung windows and have the bar at the middle. Just didn't know we needed to clarify that, but I've seen them where they put it in an awkward location. So, let's put that in the middle.
Okay.
That's a good clarification, Angela. Thank you. The location of the crossbar would match the crossbar of the double hung windows.
Yeah. Right.
All
That's all.
right. All right. Sounds like we're good with the crossbar and a couple window changes. Any other comments? If not, go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry. I'd like to clarify the changes that you'd like to make. So the horizontal bar across the casement, window 8 and window 2, converting both of those to double hungs.
No, I think just window 8. I think one of those windows needs to be a casement for egress.
On window 8 is in the back bedroom, and there is a egress casement on the side of that bedroom. Then what crossed my mind, and I don't know, this would be a code official would have to weigh in on this. If that egress window number 1, if that's the egress window, well, there's a door there though. If that's serving as a bedroom, your door is egress.
Yeah.
So, really, technically, Mr. Thornton, there's a door right there. If that living room is doubling as a bedroom, you wouldn't be technically required to have an egress window there. So if you didn't want to obstruct your floor area, you could put a double hung there because your door that's right there serves as an egress.
If that makes code, I would prefer that.
Okay. So we'll go ahead and go with double hungs at location 1 and 2, since you have that front door for egress.
That would be great. And that leaves one casement window in the bedroom.
Yep, that looks correct. Okay, I think we got it finished up.
Yeah, I think so. So 403 Oak, Carol.
Okay, I'll like to make a motion to approve 403 Oak with the following clarifications. Windows at position number 1 and 2 in the living room on the front of the house will be changed to double hung windows. Window 8 in the rear bedroom will be changed to a double hung window. Window 9 is a casement window, and it will have a horizontal cross member to match the position and size of the crossbar of the double hungs.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Okay, Autumn and Mr. Thornton, you're approved.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Have a good evening. Okay, next we have 214 Central. Anyone here for that project? Online, please raise your hand.
Looks like we have Tom.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, this is Tom Schreier. I'm the builder for 214.
Welcome, Tom. I think, I'm not sure if you heard our comments before the meeting or got them via email, but I think there was mainly just, well, one of the questions was the plan and the elevations don't
Correct.
match
Yes,
your three-dimensional model. So we wanted to clarify doors and windows.
yes. The windows, I'm going to try to trim the new garage as close as I can to the house, and with the color and the style of the trims on the rakes and around the windows and such, and that. So that I'm sorry I didn't quite detail that enough.
Right. So the elevations, it looks like your hand-drawn elevations and floor plan show a window
Yes.
on each side opposite, and then a
Yes.
man door and then the gable. So that's what we're
Yes.
looking at. Okay,
Yes.
great. Thank you. I think there might have been some other comments. Tracy, did you?
Yeah, I was curious about the style of the garage door. It's shown in the renderings, but I think we just don't pay attention to the renderings and just kind of ignore those as part of the submission and just go with the drawn.
I
hand-drawn drawings?
I would prefer the garage door with the set of windows across it
Mhm.
versus the solid door.
Okay.
So it will match the door that's in the
Yes.
rendering.
Yeah,
Okay.
I guess
Yes.
we'll match the rendering.
Yes.
In the rendering.
Mhm.
Of other comments from board members? Angela,
I don't have anything else.
Kyle,
No.
Carol?
Just with the clarification we just received that the corner window, door and gable trim and the corner trim will match the existing house. That's addresses my
trim.
comment.
All right, did I think I may have originally, when I reviewed this, I wondered if there was going to be a gable vent. Was that discussed?
No?
It's probably an
No.
uninsulated garage.
I wanted to ask the question, I think, because I was looking at your house and I was looking at the garage. Because if it's an unfinished garage, sometimes it's
Correct.
worth considering as a way to get heat, out of the garage, because they can get kind of warm in there in the summer. So when I was looking at this earlier, and I think I failed to mention it, I thought just to ask if you were gonna consider putting a vent up there, and if you would, maybe it would just match what's on the house.
Oh, yes, sir. I can do that. That'll be fine. I put one
And-
on either end, so you got a good cross draft.
Right. So, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I thought that would be functional and it would add a little bit of interest too and tie them together.
Sure. Okay. No problem. I'm glad
Okay.
to.
So, sure. We can put that in the motion. It sounds like, I think we're clear on what you're doing. And if you're good on the vents, we'll put that in as an option that they would just match what's on the house.
Okay.
Okay. I think that covers it. So one of the board members, if you could please, a motion for 214 Central.
Make a motion to approve 214 Central with the following clarifications, that the trim at the garage at the corners and windows will match the existing house. There's an option to provide gable vents on either end of the structure to match the existing house. And that the hand drawings will govern the design except for the garage door style, which was to match the renderings, which will have the windows at the top.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? All right, Tom, you are good to go.
Thank you, sir. Have a good evening.
You're welcome. Same to you. All right, next we have 242 West Jackson. Anyone present for that one? Come on up and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Mickey Bikey. I'm the architect.
And I'm Mike Dinsbach. I'm the builder.
Welcome, Mike. All right, I don't know if you guys heard some of our pre-meeting comments. I'm just trying to turn to the right project here. Yeah, and I think that was one of the overall comments was basically just a set of elevations if you have them. We were just not seeing all. There's some information. I mean, the overall design looks great, I think, and it's just a matter of some details that don't seem to be clear in the SketchUp model that a normal set of elevations would show, plans would show. I don't know if you have anything or wanted to add.
No, we don't have elevations with us tonight, but we will have structural beams across. We'll have a beam, ridge beam at the top. There'll be beams along the side and they'll be wrapped in the trim wood to match the rest of the house.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely members not shown on that rendering that are gonna have to be in there structurally.
Right.
But, you know, they just didn't show on the computer.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that's what we figured. So I think the general comment was, you know, there really isn't an issue with the overall concept, but we would like to see the finished elevations to approve it. So it's kind of, it's one of those where if we had that, maybe we, I'm not sure if you're looking for any more feedback, but I think if we had the final set of elevations and it looks the way, you know, I think you're planning to do it, there shouldn't be any issues. But we typically would like to see that to approve a design. So if that makes sense.
I mean, it does and it doesn't. I mean, we'll get you what
Right.
you want, but you know, these aren't permit ready set of drawings.
Sure.
That's why we went as far as we did with it.
Right. No, and that's great. And you wouldn't be the first person that does this because really then you're kind of treating this as, do we have any comments? And I think what you're hearing is that we're fine with the design. But before, when we just had one tonight where we did the same thing, the first one that came, those drawings were submitted months ago in sketch form. And then we brought back the final drawings tonight, which they reviewed. So I think that's what we're looking at here. I don't think you're gonna have any issues as long as what, you know, it looks like you're gonna do is what you're gonna do. Just submit those drawings and, you know, we'll be able to make a vote on them at that point. So if you understand what I'm saying,
I understand what you're saying.
okay, great.
You'll
So-
have to do them for a permit anyway.
Right.
So it's not like an additional
Sure.
expense or anything.
Yeah, I understand.
And one suggestion is for the architect, I mean, some others do it, is that you could even submit the elevations, while you're still working on the rest of your working drawings. Because for our board, we're looking at plans and elevations in scale. So if you could go ahead and do that while you're finishing the rest of the drawings, that's a way to kind of save some time too. So,
So then we're gonna need to go through this one more time though with you guys.
yeah, I mean, I think so, because there's, the concept's great, but we're just missing the scaled. I mean, it's really as clear as that for me. I think some of the other board members have made the same comment. So,
I think the proportions are gonna change just a little bit once you get everything kind of figured out.
right. So we just want to make sure, what we're going to approve is from a final set of drawings. So it looks like you're on the right path though.
All right. Thank you.
So with that, we'll just table a vote for tonight. And I think the next date is,
I think it's the 16th is the next ARB meeting. I have to double check that. But if you guys can get me what they're asking for by next Tuesday. Sure. Usually by noon or 1 o'clock, and then we'll get you a meeting.
Glad to do it.
Yeah, and just through your knowledge, there is a preliminary process where you can submit like in progress things and understanding that we won't vote on. Actually, sometimes we move things from preliminary to a vote when they're completely fleshed out. So.
right. All right.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Have a good night. All right, next we have 102 West Rose. Anyone for 102 West Rose?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, good evening. Welcome.
Hi, good evening. So I'm not sure if you guys have it, but I did drop off a bullet point list. The basement on the property flooded last week when it rained. So I'm really scaling back some of the pretty cute changes that you're seeing. And we're going towards just primarily replacement windows, a new door, and I can address the measurements and the some of the questions that you guys had earlier. I can answer some of those questions for you because we were listening.
Okay.
So when you say you're just replacing the door, are you not going to extend your front porch? Is that? out
No,
of the
ma'am. That's out of the project. Now we will just be repairing the concrete pad that's existing and getting a new door. We won't be tearing off the little awning that exists. We'll be keeping it. On the front elevation, the windows that are existing will be replaced with the identical same size window, except for in that big picture window in the bump out, we're going to switch to 3 equal size windows, just as the sketch shows. Then over in that area where the jalousie windows are, I'm fine. I heard your comment about like not thinking maybe one window would be okay. And I'm fine with doing 2 windows together. What I was putting one that was the identical size as the other existing ones just to keep with consistency, but I'm totally open to hear what you guys would recommend.
Okay, are you changing your window style from the plain 1/1 double hungs to the 2/2 that are shown on the sketch? Is the window style change still in the
Yes, ma'am.
project? Okay.
Yes, that is going to be accurate.
Okay. And so you'll have 3 equal in the large picture window area. So when you say there's going to be 3 equal in that picture window area, are you going to keep the flanking double hungs, or is all of that coming out in favor of 3 equals?
So are you talking about just in the bump out?
Right.
In the bump out, all three of those windows are being removed.
Uh-huh.
There they will be replaced with 3 operable double hung windows, just like it shows in the drawing.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So that they're all 3 double hung identical windows together.
Right.
But the size of the opening itself is not changing. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And then,
I
we just,
wouldn't have changed it, but with the basement flooding, we have to do a whole sump pump thing. And so I had to change some of the cute, fun stuff, like a front porch.
yeah. Okay. Then, we just got this bullet point list and haven't really had a chance to review it thoroughly. So bear with us if we're doing some
No,
clarification that's on your list here.
Nope.
So could you review with us what your proposed scope of work is now on the rear elevation?
Yes, ma'am. Do you want to finish talking about the front elevation where the jalousie windows exist now?
I think for me personally, I think I'm clear that where the jalousie windows are, you want to do 2 double hungs together, or were those casements?
Well, originally what I wanted to do was one that was the same as the other windows on the front. But you had said earlier in the meeting when you guys were talking that you wondered if that was going to be enough window on that wall. And so I was just saying, like, help me. Do you think 2 together would be better? Or do you think sticking with the consistent same size window all the way across the front would be the consistent way to go?
Well, what I'm thinking here, I mean, it's good that you've given some thought and I understand stuff happens and you have to modify the scale of a fun project for a very practical matter. So I think y'all have our sympathy on that. I think we've all been there a time or two ourselves. So I know there was a kind of a late order change based on your recent emergency. But I personally, I'm still feeling like I would really like to see what your decisions are drawn to scale with some really clear labels about things like how you intend to infill existing wall openings and have your
flip back to the next couple pages. There's actually a very clear drawing. So the infill that's being framed, and it's going to have the same siding as the garage and the entire back of the house. And that is matching what is on the back of the house now, except it's just rotten.
Okay.
The front where the shingles are, where the 3 windows will be, we are switching, if it's okay with you, to the board and batten style, just to give it some more height. And because it's less expensive than the shingles, and our shingles are rotten. But that's the only change. And right now, what you can't really see in the picture is that there is like the old asbestos tile siding wrapping the garage and the jalousie window section of the house. And so we're just going to continue what is completely across the back of the house around the garage to keep it consistent and reduce all the changes. That will also happen on the eaves, and all of the vents will be replaced as well. And then to go to the back elevation. So the west facing side where the garage is, we're just replacing a window. And we're removing that little like awning thing that's there. On the rear elevation, if you're looking at the new sketch, there will be a door where the jalousie windows used to be. And then all the way across the back of the garage and all the way across the back of the house will be the 7-inch insulated horizontal boards. It will not be hardy board anymore. It will be vinyl. The window in the kitchen and the bump out, there will be one single window with a maximum width of 48 inches instead of 2 windows together. And then where the bedroom is on the far right, there is an existing single window. We are just simply going to replace it. We will not be doing 2 windows anymore.
For me, I think if I could maybe suggest that we could make any comments about what you do and don't want to do, but I think these drawings are going to have to show what you want to do because it's kind of hard. There's a lot of little things going on. So we could just talk through what we're good with, and then we would ask you to revise your drawings so that they're going to be what you're going to actually do and not a bunch of options.
I got
And you're going to have to do that anyway for the city. So if I could just kind of run through, that list. Obviously,
Okay.
if you're going to change your windows out as we discussed, I don't think there's any issues with what you're doing on the front. There was a question about, are you going to keep the existing door? Did I hear you say that at the beginning that you're going to?
There's a copy of the door that we are doing for the
But-
front. It's in the
But
packet.
you're not going to move it, right? You're going to replace it in
Correct.
place.
Yes,
okay.
sir. I'm gonna have to keep it there.
You had a question about whether or not you should remove the shutters, or are you going to?
I would like to. They don't really
I think
properly
that's
fit.
I think it's a great idea,
Yay.
but that's my opinion.
Well, brick houses don't really need shutters anyway, right?
so I-
and when they don't close and hide the window, it doesn't look right.
Right. Okay. I don't know if
are you guys okay with just replacing the windows and going ahead with the vinyl replacement with the style I've selected in all of the existing openings?
Like it'd just be a 1-for-1 window replacement and some siding changes. Oh, sorry.
yeah,
Correct. That's really
right.
what we're doing, except they're the only 2 changes. Well, there's 3. On the back elevation, the bathroom window, do you see how it goes horizontally now? We're actually going to do the exact same size window that's in the bedroom in the bathroom. And it will be a normal vertical workable window with tempered glass.
Just from what you're describing, I'm not anticipating any particular issues. However,
Awesome.
this is such a huge scope change from what we have in front of us that any emotion we would try to make to address all these things would be extremely cumbersome. And the drawings will need to be revised and clarified for your permit submittal to the city anyway. So in order that we all be clear on what your decisions are and how it will look, a new submittal will be needed to reflect your actual scope of work that will be executed, and it needs to be accurate in dimension and completely labeled. And, that's really in your project's best interest because it will avoid any potential confusion or help to avoid any potential confusion once you're under construction. If everybody, you, us, your contractor, the city are clear about what your actual scope of work is.
So does that mean that we can't start anything or get in line for the interior permitting?
I mean,
And we
I
have to
think-
start all over on the 16th? Because honestly, guys, this is also carrying cost expense.
So.
But I
think-
understand what you're saying.
Yeah, so I think really, we're gonna ask for you to give us drawings that reflect what you're gonna do. I don't think the board is comfortable on voting with what's in front of us. But it sounds like we've talked about how you want to change the front windows and the window on the back. And then the other question was the vertical batten on the front instead
Mhm.
of the horizontal. Is everyone okay with that? I'm okay with that. I don't know if anyone else has a thought. Getting rid of the shutters. So I think unless there's something else I'm missing, if you could put all that information on a new set of drawings. So we're not trying to make a motion based on a lot of, confusing.
Yeah,
So
edited
you would
stuff.
have to just get that in. I think Kelly, you had said before to the last applicant, since they're on the board, that they would have to have it here by Tuesday.
Tuesday, no later than 1.
Okay.
I think
New drawings.
orthogonal elevation, same thing. that we just
Wait,
said.
hang on. I can't hear that man talking right now.
Um,
What?
And orthogonal elevations, same comment that we had for the last applicant.
So will you guys say the date and exactly what I'm required to do one more time? I was also a little bit confused not hearing everybody.
Yes. I will say, we need your submission resubmitted with the actual scope that you're planning on doing clearly noted on the plans elevations. The submittal would need to be turned into the city. I believe Kelly said next Tuesday by 12 o'clock noon in order to make the next architectural review board.
And that means that we can't even order windows then until the 16th.
I'm just telling you what you have to do to have us vote on it. So, okay.
You can call into the office tomorrow if you would like. This is Kelly Campbell. We've talked.
Hey,
And-
Kelly.
Hi. We can discuss a little more in-depth timing, okay?
Okay. So
All
the
right.
part about just replacing windows, I cannot get that alone approved. I'm just trying to get in line to order windows because there's such a delay.
You can order them at your own risk.
I was going to say, that would be a risk. I understand that there's a bit of a time constraint and you'd like to get in line, but the next meeting, ARB meeting, is going to be in 2 weeks. And heaven forbid that something got ordered that wasn't approved, or because it was a misunderstanding in what you're describing, then, you would be at risk for those windows. So even though I know it's frustrating and you want to get going, I think it's in your own best interest to just get a clarified submittal in so it can be reviewed and approved. And then you will have the comfort of making a big dollar purchase, your windows, with drawings that are approved. I
Okay.
really do think it's in your best interest to do that.
Okay.
Agreed. All right, London.
Thank
We'll
you.
table your project for tonight. Thank you. Okay, next we have number 2, Karen Court.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Scott Bolding with Bolding Architecture. I'm here representing Mr. and Mrs. Mike Heidinger for their proposed addition at number 2 Karen Court.
Okay, great.
And-
Welcome.
Guess I can start addressing some of the work session comments.
Sure.
Ms. Hediger is
Yes.
on
Oh.
Zoom.
Oh, she is?
Does she, Ms. Hediger, do you want to? Do you
Mike's
want
here
to-
too, so we're covered.
No? Okay. All right.
Okay. Okay. Okay,
Okay.
sure. Go ahead.
I think the first comment was numerous materials. The existing house is the brick and the stone, and then the horizontal siding at the rear. You know, it's cost prohibitive a little bit to remove the brick.
Not a consideration. That wasn't even what I was talking about.
I didn't think it
Yeah,
was, but
yeah.
just a comment.
Yeah, I mean, that's just to clarify, because I know it's been quite a while since you heard all that. It's
Yeah.
been a lot of conversation since then. I think the brick and the stone and the Cohen work that's existing around the door, all of that looks fantastic. And I applaud you for reusing that. I mean, it would be a shame to lose those beautiful intact materials. So yeah, that isn't the issue. It's just that there's, you know, with the various siding types, we got the horizontal and the vertical, and then we've got two different roof types, even doing something as simple as just simplifying this material and this gable, instead of having horizontal siding there, just go to a flat panel. I think that would be a really nice change, because also too, for me, that horizontal line would not be distracting from your nice door and from the beautiful stonework. You know, if there was a planar
that's-
element there. And then, you know, typically that, you know, would be fine to have that metal roof, but it just as a consideration to maybe think about keeping that similar to the main body of the house, just as one less texture. Because for me, if you were just keep that plain and a little more subdued, you'd still have the nice geometry of the porch. But the texture of the brick and the stone would play better without.
Well, the metal roof is a little bit, it's a very low pitch to that.
Mhm.
So we kind of, they did like the metal roof aesthetically, but then also there's just the concern on the low pitch of that roof, asphalt shingles versus metal.
Mhm.
I thought functionally the metal roof would be a little bit better on the low slope too.
Do you happen to recall the slope?
About a 3 and 12.
Oh, that is low. Okay.
You're right. Yeah, I mean, it's right on the line.
Yeah,
think you go
it really,
212.
yeah, I,
So that
Good
was
point.
another
Thank you.
condition
Yeah.
on going with the metal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think there was a comment on south elevation, not
Yeah.
windows not showing up.
The windows in the plan.
Well, all those 3 windows on the plan on the south elevation are existing windows coming out.
yeah.
Oh, okay, maybe that's.
And
why
they're
I'm
gonna
not
get
seeing it.
infilled with brick and then it'll all be painted.
Okay. What about the window, like in the elevation, there's a window that looks like it's in the addition. This window doesn't show up in plan? Does it?
That does not show in plan. You are correct.
Is that, should we say that the elevation governs or the plan?
Let's say quickly here. I'm gonna say that the plan
Yeah,
dictates what
'cause I wouldn't know
happens.
where that would.
That
yeah,
window's not gonna occur there.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
So there won't be a window in that location at all then on the south elevation? That's an
The only
awful lot
window
of
is on the
blank
second
wall.
floor.
Yeah, that, for me, that's way too much blank wall. I mean, it was marginal before we learned that window is coming out. I mean, that is just one entire level of nothing but blank wall. And then just, you know, a couple of small windows upstairs. So that would need to be addressed, because that's just, for me, that's just unsuitable to have that much blank wall.
Well,
Could you put a window above? the
form
window?
follows function a bit. I've got a closet, that 2 walls run into those 2 existing windows. I guess I could grab that master bedroom window back.
Would you be open to putting another window by the tub? Or is that too much? No.
There's concern we're eliminating all those windows. So, you know, we've got a long wall with no windows.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we can, pull back
I
the,
mean,
either
you
another
could
one
put
in the
the
bedroom
master
somewhere,
bedroom back.
or they've suggested, I wonder if I could put, how about in the master bath, the long vanity? If I could kind of maybe put a small window, not over the sink, but just to the right of the sink.
For me, that's a start, but it's still a whole lot of blank wall.
Hmm.
And, maybe something in the master bedroom would help.
Well, I can do that. I can either keep that existing window or maybe move something a little closer to the closet so they can put a bed along that window. That was the reason kind of for eliminating it, to put a
Yeah.
bed there.
Yeah, I mean, I think that'll, for me, that would help to have two windows put back in. And it's always nice to have a master bedroom with window coming, from more than one
Yeah,
side.
no,
Definitely.
I think we're agreeable with that if that would work.
Sure.
And then your other comment,
Yeah.
oh, that's a no-brainer. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Little roof element over that door. That should have been there to begin with, so. Can that be just maybe a little shed element with some brackets supporting it? Okay, that's a no-brainer, yeah.
Yeah, something, that's in proportion. I don't know if you would do it the same slope as what you're doing on the front with a metal roof, or how you would want to do it, but I think maybe.
I could maybe use a metal roof, but I mean, I'm not adverse to one or the other, but I think the metal roof might be a little better.
I think that, since you're doing it on the front, doing that on the back and would be, kind of make the all four
Okay, well,
elevations.
that's
cohesive.
perfect.
Yeah.
And then window trims, I think I asked that question. What kind of window trims are you doing on the siding?
Well, right now, I think the thought was just kind of a simple vinyl trim with the vinyl siding, nothing too pronounced.
Yeah.
Unless there's an issue with that.
No, so you're using board and batten, and then the window trim itself, just some sort of scale, like 3.5 inch, 4 inch.
I think the standard is about 3 inches.
Yeah. Okay. Angela, you got any comments?
I think everything I had has been covered, so.
Okay.
I like the presentation of hand drawings and SketchUp models.
I'm hanging on. Technology is killing me. I'm hand drawn.
I hand drawn when my client, me, demands it.
Yeah.
I do my own that way too.
I'll tell you what, though, I've been to a number of architectural review boards and I've had the comment, oh, it's nice to see a hand drawing.
Yeah.
So it's nice hearing that.
I don't think anyone else have
No,
any
I think
comments? Did we miss
everything's been
anything?
addressed.
Yeah, it's nice to see the house.
Live in the house. All this goes.
All right.
The
All right. All right. So with that, do I have a motion on number 2, Karen Court?
Yeah, I'll take a stab at it. I'll like to make a motion for 2 Karen Court with the following clarifications. A window will be added on the south elevation in the master bath and in the master bedroom. A shed roof overhang will be added to the rear over the back set of doors. 3-inch trim will be added to all the windows and doors.
And the change of the material in the
Oh, the
front gable over the door
Entry.
to just a flat panel.
Yeah, and to change the gable material in the front gable to just a flat panel instead of the horizontal siding.
Oh, maybe we should clarify that that's the gable above the front door.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Front gable. Anything else that we discussed?
I don't think so. Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? All right, you're approved, Scott. Good evening. All right, next we have 32 West Jackson. Anyone online for 32 West Jackson?
Mike Place.
Welcome, Mike. All right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's been so long. I forgot who made the comments.
I had a couple of just.
Oh, that's right.
suggestions,
Tracy, go
but
ahead.
There's, I mean, not deal breakers in any way if you prefer to go the way that you've designed it. I was just gonna suggest maybe removing the front shutters just because they are not equal to the window size, so they're just decorative.
Okay. I don't think that would be a problem. Can I double check with the homeowner on that? But I think that's probably a good idea.
Yeah.
And
I think we
can probably direct them that direction. Not a problem.
Make it optional.
Yeah, we can make an option. And then.
Until we ban them.
Yeah.
And then the other comment was the overhang on the rear door. It's really nice that we have that, but I was wondering if it needs to be shortened a little bit. It looks like it's extends way past the door, which maybe that's intentional.
On the rear door.
Yeah, it just looks like the overhang's really long.
I think the rear door is existing and I don't think we're doing anything with that.
Oh, that is existing?
So that's actually an existing condition.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's just not in the photos, but I think everything past, everything past that demarcation is there.
Okay, so never mind on that.
Kyle, could you move up to your microphone, please?
I'm sorry, Angela. I was just saying that it looks like, all that is.
Oh, maybe it's not on.
Yeah, we keep turning it on.
Is there a green light?
How about now? How about now?
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
All right, I mean, I just saying, everything past that line, it is clear, a little more clear on the.
yeah, you're
drawings,
right. I
it's
see it in
existing.
the photos now, so disregard.
Okay.
All right. Any other comments from board members?
No.
So I just had, Mike, I was just wondering a little bit about the window style. So was your plan to try to make the existing windows match the new windows or is there something like that? Or you're just going to leave them two different styles? The 2/2 or the 1/1?
Well, I think we've kind of gone a couple directions with that, but let me double check here. We like the 2/2. And I think we may have to change one. We may end up changing a few more of the windows. We'd like to keep those 2/2. Pretty much as we're showing on the front, and then so all new windows will be. But you're right, we do have some existing windows that are 1/1.
Right, and there's some like in the same room as ones that you have 2/2 and 1/1 in the same room or space.
Yeah, in the bay window, we've got them 1/1, and yeah.
Yeah.
Let me take that up with the owner again and discuss that with them. Would you like to rather see it all 1/1 or have them change out everything to make it 2/2 or just keep it consistent? I guess that's what I'm hearing from you.
Well, I don't know.
There's not many windows left. I mean, you're right. It's the, I think by the time they get through this, doing all 2/2 is probably not that much. There's not that much more.
I'm a big proponent of, retaining the existing windows. So, there's that. However, I understand, most of the windows are new, but so I don't know. They aren't that different. It's not like you have 6/6 or something, but
Right.
so I don't know. I guess I was in some ways just curious at what it's gonna be like. I can't say I would disapprove of it the way it is, so.
Okay,
just
let me discuss that with the owners and see what they think, but, you know, if we can get this approved as is, if we make any changes like that, you know, we can do something maybe that'll go through administratively with Mara.
Maybe we could make the motion that it could be approved as submitted and with the option that all the windows may be changed to 2/2 or 1/1, or as submitted. That way y'all could confer with your client and make a decision and without having to come back. Would that work?
Okay, that'd be great. That'd be
Does
perfect.
that work for all the board members in the city?
Yeah, I
think
think
that's
that's
fine.
good. I mean, makes it consistent. That way the city knows when they show up what
Right,
it is.
right. I mean, the idea that you're gonna change them all to 2/2, ideally in time, you know, works.
I mean, they can always come back for a quick, I mean, we can let them, I mean, overall, this is pretty good. We can let them loose. And then if they change it up to not match this, they can come back and just say, we're changing the windows.
Right.
Be
Okay.
pretty quick.
Okay, great. With that, do I have a motion on 32 West Jackson?
Make a motion to approve 32 West Jackson with the following options as part of the motion. The shutters could be removed if the owner prefers, and then the window styles could be changed to be consistent throughout with the 2/2 if the owner prefers.
Is it 2/2, 1/1, or as drawn? Where are we going to do that?
I thought it was 2/2.
The new,
as drawn.
right, as drawn with the option for the 2/2s to be changed to 1/1s.
Or or whichever.
Or vice versa.
Say a consistent style.
Okay, there you go. Consistent style.
Okay. Do I have a second from somebody?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? All right, Mike, you're approved.
All right, thank you. Hope to see you guys at the art fair this weekend.
You bet.
Sure.
You have a good
All
night.
right, good night.
All right, sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, and then last project, 1227 Eastbrook. Please raise your hand if you're here for that. I assume the one person left is
So this person is not raising their.
Sarah. Is it Sarah?
But I have a chat from a Justin Arnold from Home Depot who was on earlier and he dropped off.
Okay.
He said, and this addressed what you guys were talking about in pre-work. We're switching double hung picture double hung for the same in front.
We're
And the
switching.
side is changing from a twin double hung to a proposed dual casement. Did that address anything you guys were talking about? And then he said, take care.
Well,
Oh, that's nice.
the question that I had was about the mix of grills styles on the front that's in the order, and what he said doesn't really address that. So, gosh.
Yeah, and then sort of back to my question was like, is this what was submitted? Is this and what it looks like when it's finished?
Yeah.
'Cause I mean, if this is what it looks like when it's finished, I'm fine with it.
It
I don't think it is.
it isn't, because that's not what it says there. It says the double hungs would be casements, which isn't what is shown. So I'm guessing.
Unless they're replacing those double hungs with casements that look like, if they've got that
The bar.
horizontal. I mean, yeah, it'd be nice if he was here.
But it says Colonial Grills on the order, which, and this isn't Colonial Grills shown on this depiction.
Right.
So
I'm over trying to sort through these window submittals.
Yes, yeah, and especially when there's no spokesperson to
Yeah.
clarify when we have conflicting information. So
All right.
we need some verifications for me in order to vote.
Yeah, so is Sarah Richardson, are you, do you need to speak on this project? I just want to make sure we're not leaving somebody out.
She doesn't raise her hand.
Okay, well, it doesn't matter. I think with that, we'll just table 1227 Eastbrook. How's that sound to everybody?
Fine.
All right. So, with that, the meeting is adjourned. Everybody have a good night.
I'm your council liaison. I'm about to say, like, I know that name.
That's what
I'm
I
looking
was
at this
thinking
name,
too.
Oh,
I'm like, I know that name's familiar.
I can speak if you want me to, but not on any on any property.
oh, sorry.
Hi.
It's yeah, okay.
Our new council liaison. We're on like number
Welcome.
3 in a year.
Welcome, Sarah.
No, I hope I hope you haven't had that many. Thanks. I came to the last one too, but I'm just gonna be watching. So I
Oh, okay. I usually try to acknowledge someone that's
No
here from the
worries.
council.
You guys do a great job. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. You have a good night.
My only comment is I'm liking the new graphical look of the agendas and meeting
Oh,
minutes.
there you go.
Yeah, good graphic design.
Agreed.
So much changes, when I don't see you all for 6 months.
I know.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Angela.
Bye,
Good night.
Angela.
Good night.
Yeah,
See you next time.
Bye.